Mwende, who will be our keynote speaker for tonight. We've got Ambassador Steve Kashiwanyo, former ambassador to the United Kingdom. Welcome. And then we've also got Ms. Salma Rechter, who's the acting principal from Delta. It's good to be able to see you here, warms my heart. My kids goes to Delta as well. My eldest used to go there, but my other two are still at Delta. And it's just good to be able to meet friends. I'd also like to welcome cluster center principals from the different schools, especially in the Commons region, as well as teachers. We'd also like to welcome Escalate Investment, which is led by Mr. Fluxman Samuel. I've not seen him, maybe he's in his absence, but if he's here, oh, he's here, represented. We will also like to welcome Mr. David Namalenga from Dinapama Manufacturing, Mali Shisho Architect. Do we have a representative from Mali Shisho? Okay, maybe they're still making their way. We'd like to welcome the Oviondo peers groups. And obviously we'll also like to welcome Uncle Bob. Uncle Bob Kandetu, as we know him amongst our circles. He was heading the University of Namibia when I was still at the University of Namibia, so it's always good to be able to meet him. Frankie Fredericks, also amongst our mates, welcome here. Frankie Fredericks, I mean, we should write many books about this man. I remember in 1992, and I was still at this school, we lined up along Independence Avenue and we were running everywhere just to be able to get a glimpse. And that feeling has never gone away. So do welcome. I'd also like to welcome Abna Hwahup, who's also the president of the Namibia National Olympics Committee in Namibia. Do welcome. I'd also like to welcome Dr. Kwiri F. Shipanganjara, right at the back in the middle of the center of the room there. I didn't know that he was going to be here until I walked in here, and I am super proud to actually be able to meet him one more time, because I like to take chances in life. And a few months ago, I made a film called Shipanganjara. It's going to premiere on the 21st, but I've written it for 4 years, and it's a long story. It's a story for another day. Dr. Kwiri Shipanganjara, do welcome, please. I'd also like to welcome Mr. Berthold Mukwahima from the OLN group. I think I saw him here amongst our groups. Do welcome. And of course, captains of industry. Really, this room is full of personalities that one would really like to acknowledge. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome King Koos Media as well, that are also present here, and everyone that we might have omitted. It is not deliberate, it's just because the list is quite long, and everyone really do welcome. Having said that, I'd like us to move over to the singing of the national anthem. Can we please stand for the singing of the national anthem? Thank you. We give our love and loyalty together in unity, contrasting beautiful Namibia, Namibia, our country, beloved land of savannas, hold high the banner of liberty, Namibia, our country, Namibia, motherland, we love thee. Do we have the school's national anthem? The school's anthem? Thank you so much. Having said that, I'd like to call on Father Ashford Musodza, I hope I got that correct. Good, thank you. For our opening prayer so that we can get on with this evening, Father.
Thank you. It's a very good evening to you all. My name is Ashford Musodza. I am the Diocesan Executive Administrator of the Anglican Church. And so it is good to be here because St. Barnabas comes from the Anglican Church. So thank you so much for inviting us to be part of this evening. Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, as we gather here tonight for this school gala dinner, we come before you with hearts filled with gratitude and awe. We acknowledge your presence among us, and we invite your divine guidance and blessings as we celebrate the fellowship together. May this evening be an opportunity to glorify your name and deepen our faith in you. Amen. I want to read a piece of scripture that can take us along this evening. It is from Romans chapter 11, verse 36, and it reads, "For from him, and through him, and to him are all things. To him be the glory forever." Now, just a short reflection of that on that text. As we reflect upon this verse from Romans, we are reminded that every good thing we have, including this remarkable evening, comes from God. He is the source of our blessings, and it is fitting that we gather to give thanks and honor his name. Our school community, our achievements, and the talents and abilities we showcase tonight are all gifts from our loving Heavenly Father. Tonight, as we enjoy this gala dinner, let us cultivate an attitude of gratitude. We are grateful for the education and opportunities that are given, and the friendships we have formed, and the growth we have experienced through our time and those who have been in this school. We recognize that all of those blessings are ultimately a reflection of God's grace and love in our lives. In the midst of the celebrations we're going to have tonight, it is essential to remember the true purpose of our gathering. Let our actions and our interactions be a testament to the values we hold dear as followers of Christ. May we treat one another with kindness. May we treat one another with respect and love, for these are the qualities that reflect the heart of our Savior, Jesus Christ. Let us also remember those who are less fortunate and facing challenges, especially during this winter time. As we enjoy this feast, may we be mindful of those who are hungry, both physically and spiritually. Let us be inspired to make a difference in the lives of others, sharing God's love and grace through acts of compassion and generosity. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful evening and for the opportunity to come together as a school community. We praise you for the blessings you have bestowed upon us and for your faithfulness throughout our journey. Tonight, we ask for your continued guidance and wisdom as we move forward. Help us to live lives that honor you, to love one another as you have loved us, and to be a light in the world. Bless the food that we will have later and the hands that has prepared it. and make us mindful of the needs of others. And bless the conversations that will be shared around the tables. May our fellowship be filled with joy, laughter, and meaningful connections. Grant us the strength and courage to make a positive impact in our school, in our families, and in our wider community. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. And so, my dear friends, as we conclude this devotion, let us carry the spirit of gratitude and grace into the rest of this evening. May we be inspired to live out our faith in all that we do, knowing that through Jesus, all things are possible. May God bless you abundantly, and may this gala dinner be a time of joy, celebration, and reflection on his abundant goodness. Amen.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Father Musoza. I hope that we have taken those words to heart, because my underlining words was we must develop an attitude of gratitude. And I'm not a prayer person. I know that it's very difficult to be able to say something like that, but some things you need to be able to underline. He's speaking about, let us also remember those that are hungry physically and also spiritually. And that type of hunger sometimes boils down over to education. I'm standing here today and I'm actually just envious of the learners that are actually goes to stand Barnabas today. They actually have this hall, and I'm sure that for myself and many of us that are sitting here tonight never had a hall. And those are some of the things that the school have been trying to put together to be able to try and make things better. Also, the theme, as many of you are aware, is to try and continuing the legacy of excellence in education. Stan Barnabas has really done that. There has been, judging from the list of salutation that we started off with, you would be able to see that a lot of captains of industry have gone past through this school, and that is what we would like to do. But that is not my point or my place. I would like to welcome the principal right now, Mr. Mbangura, for his welcoming and his introductory remarks. Mr. Mbangura.
A very good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Can you hear me? Yes. Very good. Very good. Welcome to St. Barnabas. Director of Proceeding, Mr. Leslie Shiweda. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Let me first and foremost thank Father Archford for making time this evening. I wish to first and foremost welcome you all to this gala dinner. It is indeed a pleasure to have you all. It is my honor to acknowledge the presence of Ms. Ushiwa Mwinyangwe, the Deputy Minister of Health and Social Services. In the same vein, I also want to recognize and acknowledge the presence of former Ambassador, who's the keynote speaker, Dr. Kaire Brende. Let me also welcome Ms. Selma Richter, Acting Principal of Delta School, Windhoek. All schools are St. Barnabas Primary School, but Delta is Delta School, Windhoek. We'll hear that one later. Let me also acknowledge ambassadors, cluster principals, Ms. Amata, Chairperson, and all dignitaries. Without further ado, let me stand at the protocol established. May the warmth of our beloved school and centenary of 100 years of existence give us so much warmth. Thank you that you all took time amidst this cold weather to be here with us tonight. I have no doubt that we'll reconnect and go through memory lane for those of us who were at this historic educational home. Brother, let's talk about Frank. And I can still vividly remember when I was schooling here in 1985 when we were playing around here. That football institution called the NFA House was not there. And Frank House was just on the adjacent area next to the school. And I remember in 1888, when we had the March student protest, and I was standing at their house, and then we tried to, I still remember all the shops that were around here, and when we were nicely beaten by the Kufuts of that time. It is important to state that the Gala dinner is part and parcel of celebrating St. Barnabas Primary School 100 years of existence. We are celebrating our 100 years under the theme, continuing the legacy of excellence in education. We particularly want to celebrate the school-rich history as a center of excellence in education and to recommit to the same objective. As many of you know, many of Namibia's national leaders, including the founding father, Dr. Sam Shafishuna Nujoma, Dr. Kaire Bwende, Onesmus Mandela Mangas, Dr. Shama Shivikwa, the late Dr. Seth Gawirwe, and Prof. Burumba Kerina. May their soul rest in eternal peace. Just to mention a few. We therefore call upon you fellow citizens to help us build future leaders from the current and future learners of this beloved school. This is only possible if we all pull together. The objective of the centenary celebration are two. As I said, to reflect on the rich history and achievements of the school since its establishment. Identify lessons from the past as a means of enhancing education now and in the future. Promote the school and enhance commitment to St. Barnabas and education in general. And most importantly, to raise financial and other resources for the educational and other needs of the school. Director of Ceremony, ladies and gentlemen, we are committed to make 2023 the year of St. Barnabas through the many activities we have lined up, which will culminate in the big 100-year celebration event in October this year. So far we had sports, musical events, the gala dinner this evening to raise awareness and funds The beauty and success of Gala dinner will not only be marked by the beautiful attires we have and good speeches we will make, but the pledges and commitments we will make to support the celebration and the school in general. St. Barnabas, like many other public schools, lacks financial and other resources, and this is a serious challenge for us to continue its historical legacy of being a center of excellence in education. In particular, the school needs to renovate and build infrastructure which include the newly constructed hall. So you all see seated in this big hall, which has potential for income generation as it has become a popular site for community and other events. And I must also inform you that, as you can see, we are in the center of Katutura. This is the only hall that can be used by neighboring schools and the community at large. So we are very grateful to agree on how and when to honor this pledge. With those few words, I wish you all the best. Here to rejoice. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Bangura. Well said there. And then you go to another institution and you go like, this institution has got excellence as well, but it's got on another par, like almost another raised bar. But these bars, they just never seems to end. It's almost like stairs that just goes up high in the heavens. And why am I saying this? Because I'm drawing an analogy. I'm drawing an analogy because the next speaker is going to be the acting principal of Delta School in Bintu. And they too have a high standard, a bar that is high, especially at the primary school stage. It's like the foundation that has been laid. You cannot almost shake that building. And with me, it was pretty much the same. The foundation was very skewed between Tio Kashimune and even Sten Barnabas. But I'm telling you right now, the bar can and could be raised higher. I'm trying to call on Ms. Richter, please, to come to the fore. And she's our guest speaker, and come and speak to us about how things are done.
We are all educators, and therefore tonight I just want to emphasize this, that we are family, that you just take note of that. That is quite important. So good evening, dear esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen. I once was asked, what is the most important thing that you can give a child? My answer was so easy: love. Wrong. I was very much wrong. It was self-respect. Not everyone knows how important self-perception in the life of a child is. As educators, we must strive not to address the negative behavior of a child with negative remarks. A child lives up to the expectations that has been created around him by the world. Discipline is an important word in all schools, and while one would think that this is because of a lack of discipline, and then schools falls apart. I beg to differ. I rather want to say that schools suffer under learners who live with a negative self-image. A learner's self-concept does not cause the learner to misbehave in the classroom.
Excuse me, please. Especially the hall towards the back. I know maybe the speakers are not loud enough, but I think the message that is coming from Ms. Rechter here would be is being fished out of a very deep well. So please, let's quickly just listen in.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that. So what I wanted to say is that I beg to differ from this. I rather want to say that schools nowadays suffer under learners who live with a negative self-image. A learner's self-concept does not cause the learner to misbehave in the classroom, but rather has the learner learn to see himself or herself as a troublemaker and then behaves accordingly. Educators are therefore encouraged to involve parents and the learner in building an inviting school. We try to allow learners to develop in a healthy way, and where we see the learner continuously misbehaves, then we at Delta try to act by involving psychologists or the school counseling team. Keeping in mind that behavior is not changed by 1 or 2 sessions of counseling, but through a continual working towards a better self-image and how to behave. We start as early as pre-primary, yes, at preschool, by identifying learning problems, and then we follow it up. In the foundation phase, parents believe that the problem does not come from home, but we all know problems at school comes from home. As early as pre-primary, we involve parents and advise them to make use of psychologists or OTs or speech therapists. We obviously have a lot of parents without a medical aid. Then we make use of the ministry's counseling that you just see we source more. This is not always an easy option, as we know they are also overloaded. But as management, we try not to give up on the small things that can influence the discipline. Like the stuff that are coming together first thing every morning, that is very crucial and important, that we open with devotion. I mean, your foundations must be laid properly. Then there are strict ground rules for punctuality, and we follow up on the gate of the scholar patrol duties. And then this also ensures that we have a flowing and a constant interaction with our parents. It's always nice in the morning to see your parents and say, how are you? You know, have a little bit of interaction and recognize them also. Then, before our staff devotion in the morning, our management at Delta, we meet early morning to discuss the day's running. And then during devotion, we can discuss the day with the staff, just to make sure that all are on par. Absent teachers, invigilation, problems with learners, and everything else are discussed. It is also here that learners with problems or learners that take chances are mentioned. And this ensures that we have a hand-on approach that you know already that morning. And then we make use of a discipline file that is taken from class to class. Then our head of the disciplinary committee is very strict. And with the overseeing of the files at every Friday, the learners who need to get warning letters get them. We try to maintain that, and normally that disappears. So nowadays Fridays we don't have a lot of discipline issues. As you can see, if we were strict from the beginning and we maintain, then it picks up and it's better the whole time. Then we contact the parents, and we as management support our disciplinary committee 100%. There must be that you work together. I think we can say without doubt that parents are informed as quick as possible of transgressions, that they know what is going on. The one thing that we try to upkeep strictly is disrespect towards teachers. This is one thing we do not tolerate at Delta School Windhoek. But there is also another side to this coin. We have Scholar of the Month certificates in the assembly every month. We also like to bring out a little bit of positive motivation towards our learners. So we bring in, it's not academically, but punctuality or helpfulness, you know, to also look at the moral values of a child. We hand out also a nice thank you card that we started this year with, for especially the grade 7s who has up to yet no transgressions for the whole year. That is commendable. Then we are emphasizing this also, and they are very keen towards this new discipline thing we brought in. As management, we believe that discipline starts by us, so we don't slack down on tedious paperwork. Regular class visits and book control is of essence, as well as lesson planning. After break, teachers line up with their classes and oversee the going back to the class of all the learners. I can say that communication plays a huge role in our disciplinary program at school. Motivation of teachers is sometimes difficult. The sense of belonging plays a major role, and therefore we as management really try hard to get everyone to pay their tea fund. It sounds now crazy, but this is important. And as I'm of the opinion, the fact that they all have a staff room to go to and have a nicely brewed cup of coffee does make a difference for the staff and each teacher. I just want to say that we have two very strict teachers who come early morning and then they make that real German coffee. And when the staff arrives, they smell it and already they are eager to have break time. So break time, teachers rush them to the staff room to get their special brewed coffee. Maybe this is the secret, because it is also here where they relax before taking the second part of the day. I also want to say that as management, we try to have an open door policy with teachers as well as with each parent. We always try to accommodate the teachers and their needs, making plans to help where we can, not only during school hours, but also when they need us after school. Sometimes teachers just need someone to talk to, and I think their management plays a crucial role to help and assist them. We have a very good relationship with our school board, and together we leave no stone unturned to find solutions for disciplinary as well as any other problem. We really do try to function as a big family, and therefore we try to remember that each person acts in a way that he or she sees him or herself. So that is quite important. Whether you are an adult or a child, if teachers feel that they are valuable in the daily function of the school, then they will act like that. So incorporate that, make them part of that. It's not easy, but rather than struggling to get teachers or learners motivated, we must assume that they are always motivated and how they are treated by others, and that will determine also how they react. We as management try to remember that they react on our reactions. If they feel it doesn't matter what they do, nobody sees it or acknowledges it, they will stop trying. So now we delegate responsibilities and give them freedom to develop. Alexander Dumas, one of the three musketeers, once said, "A person who doubts himself is like a man who would enlist in ranks of his enemies and bear arms against himself," meaning he makes his failure certain by himself, being the first person to be convicted of it. We try to establish a moral system where learners value themselves and others. Inner motivation leads to a higher self-esteem, to have a positive outlook on life. I can take the example of a surfer. You are riding the waves. Each one of us symbolically, just think of yourself. You are now a surfer on your board and you are riding the waves. And just there, as you are getting on your surfboard, you have to maintain the balance. Now, balance in life is crucial. And then you ride your waves. Every wave is different from another one. But at the end of the day, it's only possible to ride the highest wave in life through the grace of God. Now, know your dependence and strengths are rooted in God. A low self-esteem is hidden beneath labels, and we all know that. It can be unmotivated, undisciplined, you're not interested, unable to do, you don't want to try. That is the part that we need to get rid of. It is then also here where we involve our parents. We also had parents that just don't come to school. Yes, we at Delta have that. But we have ensured that we are on very good terms with the Ministry of Gender, and our extreme cases we do refer to them. They help us to get the parents to come to school, and we work closely, if necessary, with each parent that we can also support them. Sometimes we also do counseling for our parents. I think our biggest victory over our discipline problems is that we don't leave any problem to escalate to such an extent that we cannot handle it. Even regular absenteeism of learners is followed up by the administration secretary, and then we file all our doctor's notes, and due to thorough registers we keep, and then we know exactly which learner did not come to school, what is going on early morning, and we make an effort of it and to phone the parents and to hear what is going on. Then up-to-date administration is essential in Delta. This is to function on a day-to-day basis. I mean, if your admin is not up-to-date, you will not function properly. Management believe that you have to equip your teachers, and we try at Delta to do it on a yearly basis. Now, I know some of our cluster, the Freud cluster, will know. We got the international trainer to come and teach our children and our teachers. So we upgrade on systems and keeping up with the modern trend. But financially, we all know financially it's not always possible. But please, we have to have a goal and a dream. That is better than having nothing at all. Therefore, we have fundraisers, a lot of fundraising events, incorporating other stakeholders and our school family. That is our parents and teachers. And after tonight, I know St. Barnabas will also be part of our family. Then, academic problems, normally they ask, how can we handle that? That is another question that I can answer. I think the fact that we try to do constant teacher training help us a lot. We recently initiated training in reading involving a 5-day training for all the foundation phase teachers as well as the language teachers in the upper primary phase. We got sponsors and also invited the other schools to attend this training. Our teachers received the training positively, and the impact in classes are really visible. We are from the belief that learners who cannot read are often the ones that have the disciplinary problems. Teaching is a fragile, puzzling process, and no single explanation can cover the complexity of it. We try to get teachers to recognize how important their powers are in the life of a child's learning. This drives them to always try for alternative ways of teaching, which is also crucial to adapt to your left brain, right brain child. We also had whole school assessment on mathematics with a new program of the government, teaching at the right level. We were very excited about this program. And in short, the TAL program. The TAL workshop then concentrated on teaching mathematics at the right level. How to level the children according to their understanding of mathematical operations. The child's mental ability grade and age do not play a role in the leveling, but rather the child's understanding of the fundamental grounds laying building blocks of math. The teachers got trained during the afternoons in order to level the learners. That was quite important that we sort that out. Now, Delta leveled the grade 3 to 7 learners all in one day. We actually stopped the teaching for that day because this is crucial that we know where we can help our children, especially after COVID also. We grouped the grade 3 and 6 learners into groups of approximately 24 learners per teacher. The support classes then started at 13:30 until 14:30 each day of the week, more or less the hour. Each group moved at its own pace. We will continue then after the June and July holiday, but then we will mostly concentrate on grade 4 and grade 7. Now, management saw the need as some of our learners were very weak in maths and reading. So we made another plan and we called upon QMON and we even allow them to have a classroom available. So now the parents don't need to drive and rush through lunch hour to get their children to Kumon. Kumon is now on the premises. So that is also a plus point for schools. Now, we availed and the learners went there. The maths are picking up as well as the reading, which we are very proud of. Then sport and discipline. It is supposed to go hand in hand, but we don't have a big sports ground at Delta. But we've tried something else. Who wants to be actively involved in sports. So we took our only quad that we have, and we painted one netball court on our assembly quad. And luckily we have the small grass area where we can play soccer, but we also do chess, cycling, and cricket, things we didn't have before. We try our best to also have the swimming gala once a year, as well as our annual athletics. Parents and the functioning of Delta School is inseparable from each other. We have well-managed WhatsApp groups to communicate, and we have a good organized emailing system in place to make the communication effective. We would only like to boast about one thing, and that is the fact that we have well-informed parent committee. So we inform them on a daily basis, but we keep it short and sweet, because we know nowadays parents, they don't read those long love letters that we normally write them. Our parents all over the spectrum want to be involved, and that was another question that was asked. Why are the parents involved at Delta and not at other schools? Well, I think once you are family, it's easy to answer that. We as staff reach out to them, and we can honestly say that we have a working school community. When we arrange functions, our class representatives really get the parents of the groups going. So I think mainly because we have parents reps, they want to compete to the other classes and say, let's 1C do this or 3B do that, and that is how they started to get involved. As with teachers and learners, we assume that all parents are motivated and we act accordingly. Ask for help and arrange functions from that viewpoint. The thing at Delta, we don't stop trying. We don't let anyone off the hook without proper consultations, discussions, and assisting or rendering our services or help. You will be surprised how eager parents who thought they have nothing to give, how eager they are once you ask them or you assign them to a specific task. We have experienced a pride of giving also in those less fortunate. If you ask parents, why do they get involved at DSW? They mostly said, Mrs. Richter, we are family, and we learn to do it from our hearts. And seeing that you are doing your best as management and the teachers that are teaching constantly, we are motivated. So we have parent representatives who create WhatsApp groups, and the older reps train now the younger ones. So that is a good lesson for us. Let your older parents teach the younger ones, especially the ones who are leaving the school. Now, each class has 2 representatives. If it happens that one needs to be somewhere, the other one can stand in or maybe send out the messages or the emails. They support each other, and that is beautiful because that is also a way of helping one another. And the communication is very effective. I want to say that a pleasant environment for living and learning is stressed in an inviting family. Yes, the school can be a family. The upkeep, the landscape, and general appearance of the school are given careful attention. Everybody, including the parents, share this responsibility. Our school cherishes the togetherness of all the stakeholders. Learners are not a number, but are catered for as an individual, and problems that arise are handled immediately. Learners are motivated, intrinsic and extrinsic. Thank you for granting Delta School Windhoek this wonderful opportunity. Let us stay humble and on our knees, and let us as educators then lead by an example. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to be very honest. So obviously, I went to Barnabas, and then I took my kid to Delta, and I'm like, okay, good. So let's see how they do things on this side of town. The first thing that frustrated me was that I had to sign their homework book every day. It's like, if you don't sign it, there's like a red sticker on there, homework book not signed, every single day. And over the years, we've been at this school now for 9 years, and we're used to it. It's like, if there's no homework, it's like, why don't you have homework? We ask those questions. And that is what I like about Delta. The mere fact that it's guaranteed your child will come with homework every single day. Even during exams, it's like, you're having exams, what homework are you having? No, we've got this project that we're supposed to finish, we have to bring this, and I need a magazine, I'm going like, why? I've got meetings that I need to attend. And so I've learned to be able to juggle this. Time is moving. I'd please welcome our next speaker, who is an alumni from this school, Honorable Dr. Ushiwa Mwinyangwe, MP and Deputy Minister of Health and Social Services. A round of applause, please.
When I joined this school from Tiokashimune Lower Primary School. Now, this school was one of the schools that united all Namibians from all diverse or different backgrounds. And I think this school also kept the legacy of the old location, because some of us were born in the old location, where we did not have which ethnic group is living where. But we were brought to Katutura, and then you could see on the doors, if you see an H, then you knew this is Hero location. You saw an O, it was Ovambo location. But this school, all of us from different O's and different H and different N's, we were all hosted in this school. I see some of the old friends, Kauto Haihambo sitting at the back there, Mary Onesmus, here she is, and my dear colleague Nana, we are both social workers, and her sister Ailey. They were just living behind the school here. And sometimes during our break time, if we didn't have anything to eat, we sneaked out and we went to their house to get something to eat. Many of them, they were having a shop here, so we were taking good care of ourselves. Now, I'm bringing that up to emphasize that as Namibians, we can indeed embrace our diversity and we can live together. We can embrace diversity to enhance the spirit of nationalism. We will not have another Namibia. This is the Namibia that we have. And it's our Namibia. And I want to thank the management of the school then, who really took education very, very serious. Those years, you see a teacher, you saw discipline. They instilled respect in their learners. You saw a teacher never wearing a t-shirt. They were all wearing white shirts. And that is, I'm saying that because it's important. The way how you present yourself says something also. And if for those who did marketing, they speak about how many P's of marketing. The place, the whatever, but one of those P's is presentation. How do you carry yourself? And I'm bringing that up because I should say that I'm a bit disturbed at the back there, where we have many of our teachers sitting there, and we are having another meeting at the back. That is not nice. While other people are talking, we also want to show that respect and listen to what they are saying. I know that it's a night for us to be joyful and to enjoy, but of course we need to say something. Now, I said that those years education was taken serious, and the testimony of that is the products that this school created or produced, many of them sitting here. Today, I can say with pride that many of the products of this school are the who's who of Namibia. It's true. I, for one, yes, that is the spirit that we want to see. I, for one, I'm very proud to be associated with this school. I started at Tio Kashimune. I came here 74, 75, 76. Then 77, is when Shifiti, you know it as Shifiti today, but in our time it was the senior secondary school. And I was also one of the first learners at that school before I went to Diebra in 1978. So, education is something, I don't know what one should say to emphasize the importance of education. And I want to thank also Ms. Richter for your statement, because in your statement, you really gave some hints and guides as to what is making your school successful. And that is the involvement of the parents, the involvement of stakeholders, the learners themselves, and also taking care of the emotional level of the child. I was listening when you were talking about counseling, and for me, that really attracted my attention, being a social worker also. So, and I want to say, please continue keeping the good work that you are doing and serving humanity, because a teacher is not only, and I don't know whether teachers really also realize the importance, the role that they play in the lives of children. Because a child at home, when you say, but you should not do that. No, but my teacher said. You know, teacher said, no, mitiriwashi. It's so important because they spend time, almost half of the day with the teacher. So you have a very role to play, very important one, because whoever is becoming a lawyer, a teacher, a nurse, or a social worker, or whatever, has to go through teaching. So your role is very important. And I want to leave you with a wise man who once said that, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. And with that quote, Director of Proceedings and Mr. Bangura, I want to thank, even most of our teachers are no more, but I want to thank them through the current teachers that in fact you feed us for a lifetime. And I want to thank you for that. And I'm not pledging, But I'm pledging what? I don't want to pledge money, because sometimes when we hear pledge, we only think about pledging money and so on. But I want to pledge that, make use of my experience and expertise in the area of human science. And I would be willing anytime to come to the school and talk to the learners, motivate them, inspire them, because our learners also need role models that will inspire them to say one day, I want to be like that. We had our role models also as we were growing up. And that is my pledge. So Mr. Bangura, I'm saying that please don't come and say, what are you pledging? Where's your thousands and whatever? I'm pledging my availability to the school. I thank you so much, and let us all enjoy the evening. Thank you so much, sir.
Another round of applause, please. Time is precious money that cannot be. They're starting to prepare, and at this juncture, I'd like to call on Mr. Mbanika Ruombe to come and properly introduce our keynote speaker for the evening, Mr. Karuombe.
Thank you. Thank you for a well-organized program. I trust that I'm audible enough. I can be heard at the back, I trust. Allow me, Director of Ceremonies and audience, to digress a bit just from my main task. And that is to say, Mr. Bangura and the colleagues, since I was given a nickname which Mr. Sisamu knows very well, which is Concept Note. I've been coming in and out of this school to conceptualize the centenary, the built-up activities towards October this year. And there's a full concept note of what we want to do in October of this year for a week-long program. And that is to ensure that our theme is really given the impact. And that would include themes that are not just for this school, such as the role and importance of foundational and primary education, and many other themes which many schools can benefit from. So I'm sure through these emails and other contacts, we'll be able to share the concept note. And I've been witnessing the support and partnership from other schools, and that is important that we continue the journey towards October. Allow me to get back to why I'm here. And this is briefly not to do what they do in West Africa, where the introduction of an eminent person become another sermon, but basically just to highlight the person that was purposefully chosen to be the keynote speaker. And I shall do that and trying not to say too much. However, he remains my role model. When at the start of this event last year, when we had another alumni of this school, Dr. Shama Shibikwa, when I introduced him, I said that one word to describe him is an institutional builder. Every time when I pass by a university which was a polytech in 1994 when I started tertiary education, and when I see all the beautiful buildings and graduations, I don't want to say it when he's no more. I want to say he's indeed an institutional builder. And he is a golden product from Oshodanjupa. Today we'll be having another golden product from Omaheke. And this is none other than Ambassador Professor Dr. Kaire Mwende. I will shortly say that if there's one way to describe him, I would say that he's a trendsetter and a role model. Why is he a trendsetter and a role model? he was a lawmaker. If you want to know why Chapter 3 of the Namibian Constitution is entrenched, meaning that it cannot be easily changed, you don't need to go to the parliamentary Hansard or record. You have in him what were the discussions of entrenching Chapter 3, the chapter on human rights. So he was a member of the Constituent Assembly, meaning the lawmakers who established the Namibian Constitution. He's an academic, an achieved academic, and when you read his PhD is in economic sociology. And as I was preparing my notes for this, I said, what? Economic sociology, what is it? Because I read it before, but just to appreciate that economic sociology will help you understand why somebody would sell a goat in order to buy a cell phone, because the value of the cell phone would have been defined. So meaning this is an intertwined of sociology and economics and the rationale to why we make decisions. Next, I'm describing the keynote speaker of tonight as a diplomat. I have not worked in diplomatic circles, but indeed I have worked and continue to work in parliamentary circles or corridors of power. And he has been sent to what we call strategic missions. So meaning that in diplomacy, people are chosen and purposefully chosen for who should go to which mission, and because we want what value from them. He has represented Namibia at the UN and also at the EU. Dr. Bwende is an enduring politician, and when I say Dr. Bwende is an enduring politician, I said that I left and continue to live in the corridors of power, and when one of them continue to frustrate you, you then want to go see when is the next election, so that you know that he's gone. But Dr. Bwende and a few other politicians know the trick of remaining there. So he has managed to remain an enduring politician. And as I speak to this element, and without much ado, I would recognize my good friend and senior Dr. Uncle Bob. Are you there? We all know him. When those of us who are watching political trends saw a campaign, political campaign, pulled from almost ground zero and reached what it reached. Not that I'm party political. We had to, those of us who may have read politics, complex political strategies from other jurisdictions such as Russia, Zimbabwe, we then had to ask ourselves, so can people pull a campaign from zero and reach what it has reached? So lastly, or second lastly, is that he is also an accomplished farmer. Our keynote speaker is an accomplished farmer. The few cattle that I have are grazing near an area, and when they are lost, I go to areas called Happy Valley and a few places, and the people will remind me that Dr. Bwende, these were his humble beginnings before he went to some of these important places, commercial places. And as I get to the closure of what I'm saying, and this, I continue to converse him on a number of things, but I've never said this to him. And I had, you know that when Hereros are gathered at an event, you get to hear many things, and you can't all validate each of them. And apparently when he bought one of his commercial farms, and Herero uncle said, so, and apparently he said, and I'm saying I have not validated with him, apparently he said that what I've put in my head is too much and too important that I cannot just go watch a cow, go into the field, come into the kraal, go back into the field. So indeed, he has retired in a different form. I know that the Simindalas are there, And Doctor, I'm not saying because I want to get a bull for free. Please, I'm just acknowledging. So on that basis, we continue to be led by a good trendsetter and a role model. And allow me to call somebody in whose presence we see the legacy of one of St. Barnabas' principles, as he was his father. May you come to the podium, sir.
Of ceremonies, let me acknowledge colleagues, Winyanwe, Kashwanyo, and please, I don't want to commit the sin of omission, so you should bear with me. But, or maybe we do the Nigerian way, so all protocol observed. Now, when we do that in Namibia, we do it when you don't want to mention some of the people who are there and who need to be acknowledged. So now I'm proud of myself to be called a role model of a young man that I admire greatly. So that I didn't know. But let me start off by thanking the leadership of St. Barnabas for organizing this event and for according me the opportunity to give or to deliver, which is a misnomer that they call keynote address on the occasion of the centenary celebration of this great school. I'm very proud of the principal of this school, Mr. Magura. He kept the legacy alive as we have known it. Let me start by confessing that I'm sentimental about the school. I'm an alumni of the school and only have good memories of my time here, apart from some of the people who will remain unmentioned, who made life a little bit difficult for us here, but they are here in that. Most of my siblings went to school here. In addition, my father was the longest serving teacher at the school. He taught at St. Barnabas between 1953 and 1975. And he was a principal most of those years. He took over from Mr. Pakarai. During those years, St. Barnabas also offered evening classes, which was a form of adult education, and they used to call it night school. And this was a community service, and the teachers, like my father, late Chief Kapoor and others, gave their service for free. And it is through this night school that people like Sam Nyoma actually got their education at St. Barnabas. And that was a very important aspect of this school. Also, the Southwest Africa Teacher Association, when Bantu education was introduced in 1960, they were at the forefront of opposing Bantu education and wanting to continue with the syllabus that was being used at the time. And having been an Anglican church, having been established by the Anglican Church, they had high standards of education. And a lot of the teachers at the time actually came from South Africa. And this brings me to the issue of excellence in education, which I choose to situate in the context of objective of education in contemporary Namibia. I think this question should be raised pointedly. Some of you may recall during the struggle, we're reading Paulo Freire, who developed the concept of education for liberation. And the question now, what is the objective of our education in contemporary Namibia? The government of Namibia has given priority to education by allocating a sizable portion of national budget to the sector. Enrollment has expanded in leaps and bounds following the introduction of compulsory basic education. This expansion has not only been or confined to primary and secondary school, but also to tertiary institutions. There's been increase at tertiary institution. This rapid expansion put pressure on the financial and human resources that has a potential to compromise the quality of education and, of course, infrastructure. Because of this complexity, of this complex situation, a misalignment between primary, secondary, and tertiary education emerged. That means that the students graduating from primary school, going to secondary school, were actually not equipped for secondary school, and they had to struggle. And when they graduate from secondary school to tertiary institution or university, again they had to struggle to adapt to the university because of lack of a solid foundation. Therefore, we need a student-centered approach in teaching and learning. This calls for fostering an environment for learning where learners take pride in their studies and in acquisition of knowledge. I think this is key because people go to school and they want to graduate as fast as possible, take shortcuts, ask other people to write their exams for them or assignments, and hang certificates on the wall. But the question of pride in acquiring knowledge is key, and students should be proud of that. And I can say that the hunger for knowledge that we had, in the 70s, and when we used to go to the Anglican Church library to read, struggle with English at the time, to read these books was important. And because of that, we're able to succeed later in life. And of course, apart from the fact that they have to learn and love to learn, they should also have expectations of a better life after school or after graduation. Now for the elephant in the room. What is the objective of education in contemporary Namibia? This question can be answered against the backdrop of the challenges that we are facing as a nation. However, I would rather like to put it differently, in a more positive sense. That is, in the context of our ambitions to bring about the Namibia that we want, as articulated in the most ambitious instrument, Vision 2030. In fact, not many countries, the ambition is to make Namibia an industrialized country within 40 years after independence. No other African country has done that, and I'm not sure how we are going to perform on that. But the ambition is very important. And it is in the context of that education in Namibia today should therefore be education for development. And we should be single-minded about it. The process of equipping learners and citizens at large with the requisite skills to thrive in the 21st century starts at the most elementary of levels. What we teach children at grade 0 is important for their development. That is indeed the foundation. If we get that right, then we are not going to witness the high level of dropouts that we are witnessing today. And we have got to get the foundation right. This can result in alignment between the different levels of education, the primary, secondary, and tertiary education. Today, there is a high rate of unemployment, including for graduates. Apart from the fact that the economy does not generate enough jobs, there is also a mismatch between available skills and the skills that are in demand in the market. So therefore, the journey to develop the skills that are required by the market starts with the foundation, and that is at this level where we are today. I'm a believer in public education. Quality public education is a condition sine qua non for the development or success of any country. It is against this background, It is against this background that I committed myself to support efforts to improve the environment at a number of public schools, including St. Barnabas. I'd like to challenge my colleagues, and Honorable Dr. Mwinyangwe was here pledging her time, not money, but we also like to have the money. But we have to adopt some of these schools and support them. We know that it is a responsibility of government, but we cannot only rely on government. Therefore, we should go out of our way to support schools such as St. Barnabas, to bring it at the level of private schools. There is no reason in the US, public schools are better equipped than private schools. And when I was in the US, my children went to public schools, even though they could have gone to private schools. And that is my dream for Namibia, to see that the public education, public schools become better than private schools. And because the majority of our children will always attend public schools. And there is no reason why you have to go from Katutura to a school in Pioneers Park or anywhere else. We have got to take responsibility for our own environment. I would like to propose that we should establish an alumni association of St. Barnabas. So that we can work together to bring this school, I wouldn't say back to the days of glory, but to make it one of the role models in terms of public school. Let me end by thanking the teachers of St. Barnabas for their commitment, hard work that make them maintain the standard that St. Barnabas was known for. And I thank you.
Doctor. A well-articulated speech there by Dr. Kairi Mwende. Out there have got access to education. That is why the enrollment numbers have skyrocketed, and that is what one wants. I mean, that means that it has already been said. I think we're about at that time where dinner is almost ready to be served. I'm just trying to find out from the teachers of STEM Barnabas to just show me as to what the protocol is. I'm sure it's the top tables here that will start, and then we'll walk our way towards the back. But while we're waiting for that as well, I'd like to make another reminder as well that we've heard for a number of times that there are pledges that we are hoping to be expecting from some of you that are attending, if not all of you. Please, there will be a teacher that will be moving around. I don't know what signal should we be giving. Maybe switch on the flashlight on your cell phone and just wave a little bit and someone will come to you with a piece of paper and we'll get your details. For now,
TJ.
Uncle Mengo.
Turn the lights down low. At the same music on a soft and slow. Baby, we ain't got no place to go. I hope you understand. I've been thinking about this all along. Never feel a feeling quite so strong. I can't believe how much it turns me on. Just to be your man. There's no hurry, don't you worry. We can take our time. We're gonna know, we're gonna go out. One hairy man. Lock the door and turn the lights down low. And put some music on my soft and slow. Baby, we ain't got no place to go. I hope you understand. I've been thinking about this all along. Never feel the feeling so strong. I can't believe how much it turns me on. Just to be on me. Turn the lights down low and put some music on our soul. Baby, we ain't got no place to go. I hope you understand. I've been thinking about this all along. Never feel that feeling that was quite so strong. I can't believe how much it turns me on.
Wanyuka munjira. Wanyuka munjira.
I can't believe it turned me on. Just to be your man. Thank you.
Amado kumana nao. Amado kumana uro iye.
Shower. Yeah, but that's let's maybe talk to this please, because dinner is ready to be served. Obviously, we're getting cold.
Mamuri Kofana, all your voices, you know. How are you guys feeling?
How are you feeling? Yeah, good, yeah, good.
Origita Zike. For her. How are you feeling? Is everything fine? No, apa kan dah? Betul. Baik aku. Musuh maki. Thank you. Oka tu. No. Ni kau mape kau dah?
Mai kau kita.
Ewan ni kari rondi. Yo video. Apa kain dah? Apa kain dah? Murina, mama ushota. Muidana, ushota. Nah, Murina, iya ya.
No prendo bem, ocasião que não
Wamaketa mana? Thank you, Woodward.
So those of you that would like to pledge can take one of those forms, and I think it's Miss Kavirindi now, Hangero previously. Just stand up please, so that we can see you. She will be collecting the pledges forms. There she is. So if you've got your pledging forms and you've completed them, she'll be coming to the tables and she'll be able to collect them. And for those that would like to do so in person, please do not be shy. Just make your way to the front and we'll be able to give you the mic, and then you'll be able to tell us what exactly it is that you're pledging. I'm hoping that we will be able to at least raise a substantial amount today, because we are celebrating the legacy of excellence in education and in the heart of Katutura. 100 years this school have been in existence, so let's try and make sure that we continue to do so. I believe we've got our first pledger right here. I wish this was actually an auction where you just go like, can we start with 5,000, 5, 6, 7, 7, 8, 9, 9.5. I've got 10,000 because we've got 10,000 right here, right next to me. A round of applause, please. That's how you start off the evening. Mr. Abel Kavandunge is from Dinapama Manufacturing. Can the Dinapama table please stand? We've been asked. Oh, there they are. Wow. Okay, good. So, Abel Kavandunge and representing Dinapama, they have pledged $10,000 in uniform, in school uniform. It's not a small amount of money. Those of you that were listening to Omurari FM earlier today, just after 5, there was a donation that was made at a school in Okovimburu, if I'm not mistaken. That is post 10, right? Post 12, somewhere there. Yes. And this is what you want to be able to see. So, Dinapama, thank you so much. And another round of applause, please. Yes. It is a local company, and this is what we want to be able to see. So, 10,000 in the bank. Music, please. DJ. Music.
It's 100,000.
Huh?
100,000.
100? No.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, I didn't try to encroach on his performance. Somebody came to ask me if I can do one song, so that's why I'm here. So let's do that song.
The bar has been set, it can always be raised. Because we've $15,000 from Val Designs. They will be offering their services for graphic design services for the school free of charge, but to the value of $15,000. Val, please, there she is, stand up. Thank you so much. I myself, being a media student myself, I know how expensive it is to be able to design graphics. A lot of people think it's easy. It's not. It's not. So thank you so much, and a round of applause, please. Another round of applause as well for Mr. AZ Haihambo, $1,000. $1,000. A round of applause, please. Monica Wandara, $100 million. A round of applause, please. Nothing is ever little. And at this juncture, while George is coming up with his second song, I'd like to call on the man that I really want to see next to me, Mr. Shipanganjara. Mr. Dr. No, it's not Mr. It's Dr. Kwiri Shipanganjara. Doctor, please make your way to the fore while George is just trying to make sure that the tracks are in sync with what he has memorized. Aili Hangula Paulino, they've offered $500 million. And Good. I'm just trying to, I'm sorry. Do we have any doctor in the house? If you have a doctor in the house, you'll be able to understand. I feel pity always for the pharmacist. How do they read the doctor's handwriting is beyond me. I've got one here, Aili Hangula. They've pledged the $500 and they've also pledged that they will be making arts that was made by hand, 2 of them, and they will be delivering it to the school. So please, a big round of applause. Okay, the cluster schools principal, it looks like they do have a body. They have pledged 5,000 Namibian dollars. A big round of applause, please. And we've also got Victoria Hangula, 100 hours of counseling to teachers and students of STEM Barnabas. Okay, now I am Oshihero speaking, as you all know, and we, especially as the young ones, we are all emerging farmers. So in 2013, there was a drought. It's the one time that my wife ever allowed me to get on the bed with my shoes and literally pull the blanket over my head, because every phone call you receive was another cow that was dead. I needed counseling and I never got it. So yeah, 100 hours of free counseling to the teachers and learners of this school is a very valuable time. A big round of applause, please. I know that Ms. Rishta has left. I would have wanted to announce the pledge of Delta School, and they have pledged 500 Namibian dollars. And please, a big round of applause for Delta. And Dr. Kwiri Shipanganjara, could you make your way to the fore, please? Dr. Kwiri Shipanganjara. I have to get that name right. Please, a round of applause for Dr. Kwiri Shipanganjara. Dr. Kwiri Shipanganjara is the descendant of Mr. Shipanganjara Waka Henjira. Now, Shipanganjara Waka Henjira was a poet of note within the Herero community. He is the crafter of words that we use up until today. And he's right here.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Can we please be quiet?
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, everyone.
Okay. When this school opened its doors, I happened to be among the first students, starting with my student 4, grade 6. And the foundation that was laid in this school helped me to pursue my studies, algebra and overseas. I was fortunate 1 year to receive an award as a good student, best performance student. Hence, I'm pledging $100,000. Okay, let me just finish. Over 5 years for the students, the top, second, and the third student in the school. And I'm doing that in pursuing the keynote speech on legacy in education. In my case, investment in excellence in education.
Okay, a round of applause, please. I think this is a resounding round of applause. Okay. Did you hear how much money was pledged? Extend Barnabas over the next 5 years. Will have a share of the spoils of $20,000 million. This is unbelievable. I remember when I used to be a counselor, 1 year I got $100 and it was hallelujah. Now it's $20,000. Thank you so much, Dr. Shipanganjara. Another round of applause, please. Okay, Mbishita Mbwende. There are expertise that are needed in a school. And for excellence to be able to happen, it's not just about monetary value. I think Dr. Ushiwo Muinyangwe made that categorically clear. And Mbishita Mbwende is saying that she's going to be assisting. Mbishita Mbwende will be assisting the netball coach with netball coaching duties. So please, a round of applause. The girls here won't be in the street. Mr. Shivingurura Mbwende has pledged. Okay, I know the value of a zero is very important, Mr. Mbwende here, but is this $3,000? $3,000 from Mr. Shivingurura Mbwende. Mr. Shivingurura Mbwende is the son of Dr. Kaire Mbwende, and I had a story that I had when he was getting married, and I heard it from Dr. Leake Hangala. He was making a speech, and he was saying that I think he was born in Sweden, right? Yes, he was born in Sweden, and doctor named him deliberately, and because you know how the Western cultures were at that time. So they almost wanted to give him another name. But he deliberately made sure that these people would say his name is Shivingurura. And eventually they got it correct. So please, thank you so much, Shivingurura. A round of applause, please. Okay, I told you about that table there. Can that table please stand up, please? Just stand up. Bethel Himumine Primary School. You know, when I used to go here, Bethel Himumine was our arch rivals. But now it looks like we found a friend in a foe. $2,000. Thank you so much. A round of applause. $1,000 from Mr. Ngamane Karwaihe Upi. Mr. Ngamane Karwaihe Upi, thank you so much. Okay. Ambassador Steve Kashiwanyo is in my life and in my line of work, I've met a lot of people that you can only just admire and just hope to be able to emulate. But I told you already, some of the bars are just too high. Some shoes are too big to fill, but Mr. Kashiwanyo, I met him a long time ago, and we have a very good relationship. He has offered from Langverwag to be able to give a meat master kapater. Now, for those of you that doesn't know what a meat master kapater is, let's start with the word meat. So which means this, whatever it is that has been given, has got meat. And it's the master of it. So it's a sheep that has got plenty of meat. And they just big and huge. And it has been given to the school. I'm sure the school would maybe be able to do a raffle or something for that. So a big round of applause to Mr. Kashiwanyo. Okay, someone that has got ongunde@gmail.com You have given us 500,000 here and you forgot to put your name. Please just come to the fore quickly so that we quickly rectify this. We cannot just put this fish back in the sea. This is not a catch and release stream, but we will keep it here on the side. I'm sure they will gather their guts and come. But so far, this is what we have. George, please. Anna Linky, please. It's no easy feat. 1 hour of a professional help is around about 320 Namibian dollars. So that is almost equivalent to 32,000 Namibian dollars. Okay. And we also have a 200 cash. This person wants to remain unanimous. Thank you so much. Please a round of applause for this one. Mose and Lisette Mauri Hungrire. I suppose this is from Dr. Mauri Hungrire, correct? They have pledged $1,000. Thank you so much. And Mr. Berthold Mukwahima, I included him earlier in my salutation, has pledged 5,000 Namibian dollars. A round of applause, please. I was pathetic at mathematics. I mean, I think that this job was best suited for an accountant or someone, because all these figures are making my head spin. But Dr. Kaire Mbwende has just pledged $15,000. It doesn't end there. He has dedicated his time and his resources to be able to set up a Stan Barnabas Alumni Association. So, you see, it's almost like he's walking the talk. So thank you so much, Dr. Mbwende. Another round of applause, please. Do we have any more pledges? I know that we have seen a mid-master Kapater here. I'm sure we've got a few oxen that are lying somewhere there. This is for a good cause. This is for the Namibian child. The beauty about giving to education is that you rid yourself of a lot of problems. That means that that one child that was supposed to go and break maybe into your car, they would have their own car. That is what it means. That means that one day when you need to have a catheter fitted into your heart, that there will be a heart surgeon to be able to put that. And only through donations and pledges like this can some of those unfortunate learners and kids can be able to benefit. Do we have any more pledges from the floor? Anyone who would like to come to the fore? Any more pledges? You know what they say, two heads are better than one. Dr. Kaire Mbwende came up with the idea of having a Stan Barnabas Alumni Association. Mr. Ngamane Karwai Heupi has an idea that he would like to add to that. Let's just quickly listen in.
Wenda. Good evening. Sometimes we do these type of events and we lose or we don't get to understand the essence of it. How many people are in this room right now? Just an estimate. About 500, 300. Dr. Kaire Mwende put forth the idea of an alumni for this school. I do love that idea. And if he is welcoming it, I'm open to working with him. But my simple idea is that if we think about it, let's say, for example, we are 500 people in this room, and we all pledge each just $500 a year. That's $250,000 a year as a bare minimum. $250,000 can come to this school through an alumni association every year, because you will have a whole year to save from KFC and whatever else in Matangara. Just save 500 and donate it to the alumni. 500 a person. Think about it. And I'm putting it on the table as just a bare minimum. Thank you much.
Resignation or the dismissal of one Ricardo Manetti after he had won us the Kosafa Castle Cup. We were so angry, we were going like we will just throw all these stones at him and we'll see what he'll come up with. And the first words that Mr. BD said was that we would like to apologize to the nation. Very sorry. We have done great mistakes. We will rectify it. We said no more after that. His honest Mr. Amadou. There you go. Thank you so much. Another round of applause for her, please. Winter has come early this year, and that line is not from that series of Game of Thrones, but winter has come early. Do we have any more pledges so that we can move to the entertainment part, and start maybe making our ways to our warm blankets, if that's the case? Any more pledges on the house? Going once. Gentleman there, in the blue sweater. How much are you pledging, sir? 5,000, Mr. Shiwetha. The gentleman right next to you, he lifted up his hand. Be careful, if you do this, you will be buying things. You do not even okay, that was a joke. But do we have any more pledges? Mr. Kwame. Thank you so much for a reminder. There is a surprise here to the school, and it's from the Longa family. Now, one big round of applause, please. Let me just turn it around for a nice photo. It's heavy. I'm sure it won't be a brick or two, but whatever it is, obviously, it's a good surprise for the school, and it's always good to be able to acknowledge people that are going a step further in trying to make sure that the Namibian child is educated. So to the Ilonga family, big round of applause. And on this juncture, if we do not have any more pledges, I would like us to quickly just rise for the singing of the national anthem. Those at the back,
Together
Thank you so much. And I think that's about it. Good night. And
Oh,